Good, good day. You notice there's a video of 1 minute here. The question is, what in the world can you tell us and not waste our time in 1 minute? Well, I've already wasted 10 seconds of your time. I once mentioned that the pineapple has to do with our brain, and the reason for the core of the pineapple is the same reason in electricity. It is the same reason that happens at a water dam, that if you open up a water dam and then automatically shut it, that water that is rushing will still hit the dam because it's going down, right? So the corner that it's missing will have to make up for it because the water's not going to stay until it's square, although you don't see it. So what happens now is that the electricity and the energy that comes into our minds, okay, when we stop for any reason, and it's got to stop, it's got to go around something and continuously go on to be doing something. Otherwise, it'll be a shock. Okay, the same reason for that core. Okay, the return is always to take away that shock. Okay, it's the same thing with a breaker. We are made the same. Another thing I wanted to do, and I'm not really finished, but the reasons for the X, because in this X, right, once you have an X, once you have the center mastered, that center, okay, that center is equal to every single corner in here, even where you don't see one. So that O, instead of having the X, this dot makes up for the X, making this X worth 10, replacing it at this value as the O. But at the same time, if you really look, the O is 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks, and the X is 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks. Although this is on the exterior, this is on the interior, this is omega. This has to be half the size because there has to be 2 X's because there's 2 X's coming out. So what actually happens is the body is now created. Now, where did Adam give even a rib? Well, first of all, one of the ribs that Eve had to have was between Adam's legs, or she wasn't going anywhere alone. And Adam is God, and he wasn't staying here. So he transferred on his long, long, long rib, which inside up here, the long rib has to go down to the world over here. Big, long schloing, right? So what happens when you take apart this O, okay, when you start taking apart the O, which part are you taking apart? Or are you taking the whole thing apart? Because we're only left with 3 sticks. So if we have only 3 sticks, there's your 3 sticks. God becomes C, taking out 1 stick, which would be in Hebrew bet, and then he would become Y, because he had to reconstruct himself. But if he turns this Y over, okay, the Y becomes like this. This is for one side, this is for the other side. Okay, it's now split, Y and Y. Who's in between? The letter Z is in between for beta. Okay, Z is the beta heaven. So anyways, we take a rib off, we end up with a Y. Where do we put the rib? Who is beta? What does she look like? Well, we stick the rib right in here. Beta is the omega. Stick the rib right in here. And that becomes a queen. This is now Gimel Gimel. You see the little hook? Because this is a Y comes from something else. The Y is the 25th letter in the alphabet. 2, which means between 1 and 3, and 5, which means 2 and 3 or 1 and 4. 2 parts and 2 parts made 1 part of 5, and God made the other part of 5. You, as me, talking here on this earth, and the one who's talking on this earth, but he's known as me still. I am him and I am me. And he's outside my body now, but I know and see what's going on, but he knows and sees what's going on, and he sees me doing what's going on as him and me in representation. It's pretty weird, eh? So another thing I was going to say is the body has to be punched out like this, okay? Here is 2. Here's number 8. Here's number 5. Tic-tac-toe 2, tic-tac-toe 5, tic-tac-toe 8. The body and the tic-tac-toes are split. That's an extra range over here. The extra range over here of the body is 4, 5, 6. But the line over here is 7, 8, 9. The line over here is 4, 5, 6, 1, 3. Here, it's number 8, center where the V is. It's number 8 because this is where we have our babies. We spread our legs to have this. This is Uranus. This is Pluto. This is Neptune. We never get to touch these two. Why? Because Venus is between two arms and Neptune is between two arms. So now you've got to figure out where this body is. Earth? What? We could be on Earth, you know. Which Earth? A, B, C, or D? It's got to be one of them that's right, no? Earth. Where are we? Hold on a second. Drop my mouse again. I mean, this is the way I see it, okay? This is the way I see it, okay? The circle of life is all about the lion, right? That was on Earth, okay? The elephant is scared of the mouse. I got a mouse with an extended tail. The elephant, who is the elephant in this world? This is the mouse. Is this mouse mean because we're in a little world with little things? This can't be Earth because this is the circle of life. You see the line on the back? Either it's a one spirit or it's a circle. It's either alpha or omega. You put this one in the other one, and depending how you turn this mouse and see what you find with it, you're always finding something with a mouse. How can we be on Earth? Everything has to be connected. Does everything have to be connected? And I mean, are there computers in heaven? I mean, does all this bullshit exist in heaven, or we don't have to? I mean, we have to learn, no? Or maybe in heaven we know everything and there's nothing left to learn. That's why we keep coming into these lives and removing our memory and keep going back. The thing is, we seem to never remember that we've left anywhere. We think that we've only been here one time. We think we're going to be lost in death and everybody take care and have a good time for the rest of forever. And this is Earth. Does God really want us to actually exist at all, or are all these years that man puts on Earth, it's God's brain at work trying to trying to learn new things from 7 billion people? Then when it's all done, he goes, poof, don't need you no more. Poof. The guy says, but I'm getting old, what's my use? And God says, that's the whole thing about life. You need to get old. You need to vision from every aspect of life. If you don't get old, what good are you to me? Poof, another one gone. So now, is God here for himself, or is he here for us? Well, why don't we look at it this way? If man survives forever and keeps finding, why get rid of him? Why start up somebody new? Here on Earth, sure. But they go up into the heavens, they go into Matrix mainframe, and poof, they put you into a new body. He's using the same memories, because these were memories that are with him. Why should he put them to death? Because he knows how long it took him to do it alone. So why would he get rid of us and keep changing us? He'd only want more. And the more we become his friend, the greater his survival. So then why would he want to get rid of us? See, this is all just my common sense. Has anybody shot a birdie today? You know, it's out of hunting season, right? Better watch out what town you're in. The last secret I heard online was, guy was talking in the bar, I shot a birdie yesterday on the grounds. Cop came over and arrested him. He says, you're out of hunting season. So he whacked him over the head with his golf stick. The guy looks back and he goes, oh, that kind of birdie. He says, hey, he says, I got a 4 average. He says, come. He says, let's go hit Delta around. How can anybody ever understand some things I say? Come hit Delta around. Don't you know what that is? Delta's the triangle. But it's the, okay, you ever look at the Delta triangle in Greek? Take a good look at it and then create your own triangles and ask yourself questions. How in the world did that happen? The Delta triangle happened, okay, by the cutting off of a fold in the Magen David. Okay, the same fold that is cut off, okay, is a triangle that is made at 22.5 degrees opening on each side. Not a flat back, A flat back triangle sticks like this and is like this. This is a 45-45. This is an 11-11. This is a 10-10. This is a 3 o'clock. This is a 10-10 o'clock. This is a 5 and 7 o'clock. Actually, 4:30 and 7 o'clock at 45 degrees. So, anyways, I'm going back to work on metric time. I got to do the whole year, and I got to make sure that if I do metric time, I have to make up for the extra 0.25 or 6 hours every single year that's not accountable for. But for everybody who thinks time is off by just a little, time is off by a lot. This is 360 degrees, okay? Forget about the core. Everything after 360 degrees has to do with you and me. Why? Because the number is 5. Your whole life surrounds about 5. You are the 8. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But you only can be 6 of the 8. Because the other 2 is Neptune and Venus. And you are already in the Neptune. And your life is the Venus of the Neptune. They are 1, 2, and 8. Perfect 10. Where was I? I do not know. I will jump back onto something else. There's always something. Oh, one little thing I was going to show you. A and B. Can you see A and B? Can you see A and B here? Can you see A and B? A and B? It's actually A13, which is A to M, which is our first 13 letters in the alphabet. You think God had it planned that way? And if you take a look at it, the 1 is the first letter A. The 3 is the beginning of the next world, because this is the first world ending here, therefore it starts here. So we split this up. 1 goes here, 3 goes over here, and then we go to the next letter. And in the next letter, it's N, and then O, and then P. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2. A to M, to M. M would be the third one from the 2, and this is the 1 and 3, so you put back your 3. N letter is the 14th letter, O letter is the 15th letter, P is the 16th letter. Now this is in 3 creation worlds, okay? P, reverse it around, okay, is the 16th letter, but turn this around, it becomes 9 and 2. Why would P come 9 and 2 when it's actually 1 and 6? Because creation, it starts off with M, creation. So the P, the one spirit, in order to get it in creation, because the question comes in creation, okay, is the 9-2, is man's tic-tac-toe board in this world. There's 2 boards of tic-tac-toe, 9 and 9. Because there's always an opposition, I guess. I don't have to guess, I know. I want to take out my lighter and light this cigarette, but I don't know where my lighter is. This is very, very bad. And I'm probably going to forget about pi that I'm talking about. So far, that's what I showed you, the 6 numbers of pi. It's a pi. So, these are your numbers in pi, 3.141592, and these are the reasons you get it. If you need any more information, N and O is the beginning of everything. 1 and 4 is A and D. This is A and E. A and E, 1 plus 5 is 6. Okay, it'd be F, A and E. Add the M2 at 3, you have face. Then you would have base. Take the 2 away, you got ace. It's just, it doesn't, creation is a formation, a continuous, you get up from the morning, there's a chance you sit yourself up straight. There's a definite good chance that if you're still watching me, you started to breathe in the morning. Hey, I got up in the morning, and wow, what a night, and finally start to breathe. What do you mean? How did you breathe all night? Who do you think kept you breathing all night? You were sleeping, you lazy ass. Imagine if you had the booze. What's making your heart work? It's an energy. What, you think it's a simple energy? Energy must survive on continuation. Your body cannot get a shock. You cannot stop it. Otherwise, your body gets a shock. You get a headache. It's all of a sudden you took your blood pressure and you went from whoosh to whoosh, and then all of a sudden, and you didn't even notice it, but all of a sudden you got a headache. Because things build. Certain people, the shock comes, boom, they get a headache right away. Other people, it builds. You must liberate the insanity thinking inside the mind. We are no more than a pearl rock, a scallop, an oyster, a shrimp, part of a pig, ears of an elephant. But our eyes are like our balls, because when our eyes see something nice, our balls start to turn. And then everything stands on edge. That's the body at action. The other thing why we're not on Earth, because Simba was on the circle of life. And that was a circle of life. And this is not the circle of life. This is the oval of life. And if we're square in an oval of life, there's a lot of empty corners, which are actually circles because they're all rounded off. So what fills in for the missing corners? It's God's breath that fills your square into an oval that brings you life. This cannot happen on Earth, only here. So that's why I say we're not here. Unless there's only one Earth and I'm totally wrong, I don't see it. According to my, what's it called? Man is 9 planets. Are there 18 actual planets out there? No, that's the third world. Man makes up for 6 parts of it. There are 3 planets missing. The phone shows 12. We must have 12. Planet X, Nibiru, and the 0 is for the dwarf star, and what comes is more than anybody will ever think, and it is the greatest thing in the world. Regardless what happens, we all know at the end, if this is happening, we already know the result. The thing is to never quit and to continue on thinking that there is a higher up God, because whether you believe or not, anything that is higher up than you will always have a better answer than yourself. Thank you. Raphael, 7286, the constellation of Pegasus.